You know, most of us understand that the federal government is our partner in almost everything we do. You know, through the IRS, they tax everything. They tax our business, they tax our personal income, they tax the clothes we wear, they tax the gas that we put in our car, they tax the food we eat, they tax everything. So basically, they're our partners. You know, and we get it, you know, we're law-abiding citizens, we got to pay our taxes, whether we like it or not. But did you ever think that the IRS would want to be our partners in criminal activity? You're not going to believe this. Stay tuned. Another sit down with Michael Franzese. Hope everybody is doing well. We're into 2022. Hope it started off well for all of you. Everything's okay on this end. You know, I was really trying to figure out what to do today, and somebody made it easy for me. He sent me something that I read that I just couldn't believe. And it started me thinking about, like, what were the things that really bothered me, you know, troubled me in 2021. I have a list of them. I have about 10 things, probably more if I really put my mind to it. But I have about 10 things that really troubled me that I want to share with you and see if you feel the same way. But first, I got to tell you what stimulated this. Somebody sent this to me that I just couldn't believe. It was a good friend, a very credible guy, and I said, no, it's got to be a joke. But it wasn't, so I did a little research on my own. You know, it wasn't according to him. I did a little research on my own, and this is for real. Now, I got to read this to you. I got to show this to you, and I got to read this to you. It's from the IRS, and I want to show you. It's on my phone. There it is. You can see it right there. It's from the IRS. It is official. Let me read it. And it starts saying the heading is illegal activities. Quote, income from illegal activities, such as money from dealing illegal drugs, must be included in your income on Schedule 1, Form 1040, Line 8, or on Schedule C, Form 1040, if from your self-employment activity. Yes, that's for real. The government is saying if you're an illegal drug dealer, you must pay your tax on the illegal drugs. They're actually stating that in writing on their website. Gets even better. Stolen property, here, you know what it says? Stolen property. This is what they say about stolen property. If you steal property, you must report its fair market value in your income in the year you steal it, unless in the same year you return it to its rightful owner. That's from their website. Now, I hope you understand what I just read. What the IRS is saying, you could be an illegal drug dealer, just pay your tax. They don't say anything in there about we're going to report you to the police or you shouldn't be doing that. No, if you're an illegal drug dealer, you got to report it so you can pay your tax on your illegal drugs. They're also telling you that if you stole property from anybody, you got to put it down on your form, whatever, and unless you return the property in the same year, you have to say what the fair market value is and pay tax on the stolen property. Now, why would the IRS put something like this? Why would they just not say, you better not steal anything, or you better not be an illegal drug dealer? What they're saying is basically, okay, you can do that. Now, you can say, Michael, don't interpret it that way. No, I'm interpreting it that way. Because why would it be on the form? Just pay your tax, and it's okay? This is a government agency. It shouldn't be stated like that, in my opinion. I don't know how you feel about it. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Weigh in. For me, the government is saying, yeah, okay, if you commit the crime, make sure you pay your tax on it. It's insanity, in my view. Total insanity. Because first of all, what drug dealer is going to put down on their taxes that they stole drugs, and this is the tax on the illegal income? And what person, what thief goes out and steals and then lists it on their form, their fair market value, and paying the tax on the illegal gotten gains? I mean, it's insane that they would even put something down. This is the insanity that our government has become. Now, I want to take this a little bit further because as long as this opened the door for me, let me walk in and let's see how you feel about it. Things that really bothered me in 2021. Afghanistan. Look, I don't want to get into the politics of it. No matter which way you cut it, no matter what you say about it, it was a bungled operation. First of all, 13 of our military people, men and women, were killed in a bombing. 13. You don't hear too much about it. The mainstream media didn't go crazy with it, but 13 people were killed unnecessarily because of the rushed pullout that we did, and there was really no reason for it. Worse than that, many people were left behind. Many Americans, many Afghans that worked with the United States for over 20 years were left behind. We're hearing stories from private agencies, private individuals that are going there because they care, trying to get people out. And the bottom line, no matter what way you cut it, our government lied to us. We could see that. Doesn't matter who's in office, Republican, Democrat, whoever it is that lies, it's unacceptable. And as a result of that, it was a bungled operation. We looked foolish all over the world. Our allies question us now, but worse than anything else, we left Americans and Afghans working with the American military and the American government. We left them behind, and we said we would never do that. I know servicemen that were so upset about that, so many military men that voiced their opinion. We don't leave people behind. And it made us look bad all over the world. It was a terrible operation, and unfortunately the media didn't cover it properly, but it should have been given the proper courage because we as Americans, we don't do that. We don't leave people behind. That's number one. Number two, our border, our crisis on the border. I don't think people fully realize what was going on there, but I tell you this, several months ago, I spoke to 750 border agents. I did an event with them. From the state of Texas, they weren't federal. Some of the things that they disclosed to me, the things that were happening at the border, I just couldn't believe. First of all, they said they're not getting even 10% of the drugs coming across the border, not even 10%. And when you couple that with 100,000 people that died of opioid addiction, opioid overdose, mostly fentanyl that's coming in over the border, it's sickening to hear this. And what is our government doing about it? This open border policy is insane. The other thing that bothered me about that is they're taking illegal immigrants and dispersing them in the middle of the night all over the country. These people have not been tested for COVID. We don't know if they have COVID. They're here illegally. We don't know if they have a record. We don't know anything about them. And they're putting them in our communities. Not their communities. They're putting them in our communities. And yet, what are they doing? They're telling all of us, mandating us that we must have a test and we must follow COVID protocol. It's disgusting what's going on. We have an open border. An open border. Our Border Patrol agents, in many cases, being demonized. They don't have the help that they need. This is a fact. This is not political. This is not making this up. This is a fact. That's what's been going on for almost the past year. And for me, I'm sorry. It's very, very disturbing. Next. These smash and grab crimes. I've never seen the boldness of street criminals like this. And these are organized. They're organizing over the internet. They're organizing through social media. This is actually a RICO statute violation. There's no question in my mind about it. This is organized criminal activity. But the way they're just blatantly going into these stores, when people are in there, innocent people who are being horrified over this, and smashing, windows, smashing display cases, and just stealing and walking out of the store. And, what can you do? Security guards don't want to do anything about it. We don't have enough police there to police these things because a lot of these cities have defunded the police. Many police officers have quit. So what's going on? Crime is going through the roof. And let me tell you something, people. These politicians don't know what they're talking about. I spent years in prison among many criminals. I spent 25 years on the street. I know the mentality of a criminal. And being soft on crime, doesn't dissuade them, doesn't say, they're treating me well, so let me go try to be a better person. No. All it does is motivate them to commit more crimes. And to think anything else but that is just insanity. And this is driving me crazy because, look, I have a family. I don't want them walking into a store and, criminals are going to come in, scare the heck out of them, maybe rob them, put a gun in their head, smash the display cases and running out. So, yeah, this is very disturbing, extremely disturbing. Next, this whole soft on crime policy, I don't get it. Listen, I was prosecuted to the nth degree. And I'm going to tell you this, I am not justifying anything I did, but I didn't go into stores and hold up women and children. All right, I didn't burn down businesses. I didn't do stuff like that, nor did many of my former associates on the street. We didn't do stuff like that. And if we did, we got caught. We had no bail. We got prosecuted to the fullest extent. Nobody was soft on any of us. But what's going on here is insanity. This defund the police. Now, some of these Democratic liberal mayors are starting to say this maybe wasn't such a good idea because crime is rising in all these liberal cities that want to defund the police. It makes no sense. You don't turn criminals into good people by not policing them. It doesn't make sense. All you do is give them incentive to go out and commit bolder crimes and more crimes, and the stats are showing that. They're showing that. So it's driving me crazy that our leaders, people we put in office, would come away with any other kind of conclusion than it's not a bad idea. And look, it's happening. Murder rates are up. Violent crimes are up in many cities. People are doing things that they've never done before, and they're getting away with it. There's no bail policy. I don't get it. How can you have a criminal, locked up for something and immediately release him back out on the street to commit more crimes? No penalties. Doesn't make any sense. And I'm telling you, it's coming back to haunt all of us, innocent people in these major cities where crime is on the rise. I have friends all over the place, and some of the horror stories I'm hearing are really, really disturbing, I got to tell you. And I think I just went over it, the uptick in violent crimes. We live in a dangerous world right now, and the United States is becoming a dangerous place. You know what gets me? None of these politicians, they don't feel any of this. They have security that taxpayers pay for. They live in their, ivory towers, gated communities. They're not affected by any of this. So they don't care about any of us. They're being softer on the criminals than they are on the victims. Softer on the criminals than they are on the American citizens. Same way with the immigrants. They're letting immigrants, illegal immigrants, come aboard at the detriment of hardworking, legitimate, tax-paying citizens. That's what's really happening. And yeah, I'm sorry, it's very disturbing. Inflation, what can I say? You know what, people? Most of us care about paying our bills, the money that we have in our pockets, being able to live comfortably, taking care of our families. That's what most people care about. And what's happening now, the rise in prices, the inflation, the supply shortages, it's unbelievable what's going on here. I cannot believe the condition of this country in less than a year. It's unreal. Whether you like Donald Trump or not, and again, you don't have to like his personality. There were a lot of things about him. He grated on people. I get it. But we weren't going through this when he was president. The economy was moving along well. People were earning money. Things were different then. Now, forget that it was Donald Trump. Just remember the 4 years prior to what happened this year. That's all I can tell you. As far as the economy, money in your pocket, the way you were living, just think of those things and think of the dramatic turn we have seen in these past several months. Gas prices, I wish I was back in the gas business. I'll be honest with you. If I were stealing taxes now, I'd make more money than I made before. It's unbelievable. I've never seen prices this high. Not for, I don't know how many years it's been. This is unbelievable. But why? You cut off the supply chains. It's unbelievable what this president is doing. I don't understand it. It's climate change. It's trying to make electric cars. Whatever the heck he's trying to do it, it makes no sense. It affects us all in our pockets. And normal people trying to grind out a living, support their families, they're the ones that are suffering over it. And it's absolutely mind-boggling, and it's unnecessary. Everything that I've said prior to this moment is unnecessary. Nothing had to happen. This is totally the cause of policies in this administration. And don't take my word for it, and don't give me that you're a Trump lover or supporter. That's nonsense. We're talking about reality, what's happening right now. And it doesn't have to happen. It didn't have to happen. And if you can explain it to me, I know why, but it didn't have to happen. Next, labor shortages. I got 9 pizza places. We can't get people to work. We have to cut our hours. We can't put people to work. Government wants to hand out everything so people don't work. They want to give everybody benefits, make them lazy, make them stay home. Now, there are people that are entitled to it and deserve it, and we get it. Okay, but if you'd rather stay home and collect unemployment because you're making more than you would if you went to work, that's not right. Taxpayers are paying for that. Businesses can't survive if they don't have labor, they don't have employees. I got one place in Newport Beach, I've had a sign out there for the past 6 weeks. Nobody will answer it. Help wanted. The same thing with Brugger's Bagel down the street, Starbucks. They can't get people to work. What is going on here? I've never witnessed this in my lifetime. And yeah, it's bothersome. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense. You know, and I got to tell you this, you know, and this is controversial maybe to some, but who is getting tired of these government mandates? Explain something to me. If you go on an airplane, if you're now vaccinated, fully vaccinated, you go on an airplane, you wear a mask, right? We already know that vaccinated people can still transmit the disease. They still can do it. No question about it. The statistics show it. Nobody's arguing that. Then why are they now bringing up the possibility that you have to be vaccinated in order to get on an airplane? If vaccination, no vaccination, if it's the same thing, if both can still transmit, then why must you be vaccinated in order to get on an airplane when you're wearing a mask? The masks don't do much anyway. We know that. It's not science. It's government regulation for whatever reason they have. Okay, but these things make no sense. And now they're hurting businesses again. In New York, it's becoming a ghost town again. Businesses are suffering. Restaurants, they couldn't feed people in this past Christmas, New Year's week. Tourists that came in from out of town didn't realize that their 5-year-old had to be vaccinated in order to go into a restaurant. So businesses are losing business. People are being turned away. It makes no sense, people. And if there was a real science behind it, then I would be all for it. This Omicron virus, I think one person in the United States has died so far. They proved in Africa it's a lot less dangerous. Maybe it's another form of the flu. It's not killing people. Why are we being restricted so much? I want to tell you this. If you give the government an inch, they'll never give that inch back, and they'll take a foot and a yard. The more power you give them over your life, the less freedom you're going to have. And it doesn't come back. It really doesn't. And for me, these government mandates and all this stuff that they're trying to do, it's just a power grab. That's really all it is. It's a power grab, and we should not allow it. We should stand up. If enough people stand up, they're going to listen. They have to. They have no choice. But what's going on now is crazy. The homeless situation. You got to go to LA. You got to go to San Francisco. You can't even walk down the street. There's homeless encampments everywhere. I've never seen anything like it. People in LA now, you know, they're buying tasers to walk around with. They're buying pepper spray because there's been attacks in the street. I'm not exaggerating. I have family members. You know, my sister-in-law had to put up a fence. She lives in Beverly Hills. She had to put up a fence because 2 or 3 doors down, a homeless guy walked into the backyard and killed her neighbor. Unprovoked. I mean, this is what's going on in major cities. That's Beverly Hills. Santa Monica, places like that. You see it all over the place. Homeless encampments everywhere. San Francisco, we had to close our restaurant there. That's how bad it was. San Francisco is, you don't even want to visit there anymore. And now the mayor is finally coming around, and the DA there, who is a liberal DA, very soft on crime, they're now finally saying, you know what, maybe this wasn't a good idea to defund the police. Crime is out of control. Homelessness is out of control. Hypodermic needles in the street. Feces in the street. It's unbelievable. A beautiful city like San Francisco and LA and even New York, what they're turning into is horrible. And there's no rhyme or reason for this, people. None whatsoever. It makes no sense. And lastly, you know, what bothers me the most is the government hypocrisy. They lie to us on a daily basis. Look, Joe Biden, say what you want. I mean, the guy lies all the time. He lies all the time. You can compare his videos from one day to the next. Now, all of a sudden, you heard taking care of COVID is not a federal problem. The feds can't fix it. Meanwhile, he ran his whole campaign for presidency on the fact that he was going to shut down the virus. Now he's saying it's a state problem. It's not a federal problem. These people lie and lie and lie. Elizabeth Warren boldly states publicly, Elon Musk, Tesla, is a freeloader living off American taxpayers. The guy is going to pay over $11 billion in taxes in 2021. That's more than the entire members of Congress combined. She out and out lied. She tried to disparage this man who's got hundreds of thousands of people working for him, who's paying his taxes. She out and out lies, and what happens? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What happens if you and I lie? Try lying on your tax return. Try lying to the FBI. What happens? We go to jail for that. We get prosecuted for that. These people out and out lie to the public, and nothing happens. And we don't hold them accountable. She'll probably get elected again. It's mind-boggling. The hypocrisy in Washington, all these people that live in their glass houses and want to make believe that they're really concerned about the working American, they're all liars. Do something to prove it. Don't be passing laws and trying to pass laws that are going to tax us more or tax our children for the foreseeable future and say you're doing something for us. Give up some of your own money. Do you think any one of these people would give up their own money to help the homeless, to help the poor? You think they'd offer to pay more taxes? You think they'd donate some of their money? None of them would. In my book, Mafia Democracy, which is coming out soon, you're going to see how many of them are taking advantage of the system, taking advantage in such a way that if we were to do the same thing, we'd go to jail, we'd be prosecuted for it. They're becoming millionaires, and they do it consistently. It's horrific what's going on. So these are the things that bothered me in 2021, and I'm only hoping and praying that we see something different from our leaders in 2022. We hope that, they get a hold of immigration at the border. We hope that no more people are coming in secretly into cities and being dispersed in our neighborhoods in the middle of the night. We hope that gas prices do go down. We hope that we stop these smash and grab crimes. We hope that people who wantonly go into a store and steal under $950 worth, and not get prosecuted for it. Do you realize how many stores, big department stores, are closing, brick and mortar places, because of the crime, the increase in crime in their stores? I mean, look, I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but unless you had your head, underground, you had to know all this is going on. And I'm talking about it now in the hope that 2022 we see a change for the better. And really that's it, because people, we can't survive like this. More years of this, and this country is going to be unrecognizable. And it'll be unrecognizable in the way some of these people in power want it to be. We'll be totally under their control. And it's not right. And we need to stand up, and how do we change this? In the voting booths. We do it right. Now they're trying to federalize the voting laws. All of a sudden it has to be changed. Why? They won last year. What are they trying to change it for now? I don't get it. When they are trying to change it, it's not for our benefit. Trust me on that. It's a power grab. It's to make sure that they maintain the control and the power that they have, because this administration is in trouble. You know that. And if they continue on this path, they're going to be in more trouble. And we're going to see a change in 2022, vote the right way in 2022. So it's time to sound the alarm, people. Be alert as to what's going on. Let's hold our public leaders accountable. Don't let them lie to us. Don't let them pull the wool over our eyes. We're smarter than that. And it's time for us to really stand up and demand that they do the right thing for all of us. So that's it for today. All of you who are subscribing, keep it up. We're really, the number's getting higher and higher. We're going to have a big giveaway when we hit 1 million. So that's it. How do I always leave you? Same way. Be safe. Be healthy. God bless all of you. And yep, I will see you next time.